Hey guys, this is Shaft, and we are doing the MSI Pro Cup number 11. I'm excited to bring you guys these games. This is going to be the last best of 3 in this cast. I'm so sorry guys, we've been doing this for 3 hours. This will probably last another hour. So 4 hours of casting for you guys. I know, that's not nearly enough, but there's always tomorrow. With me today is my good friend Bug Rancher. We are casting 2 of the best players in the world, but he's going to tell you more about that. Bug Rancher, you're going to be doing the introductions, and I'm on the top right-hand side of the screen, so let's get this unpaused in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, Bug Rancher here. I'm wrenching bugs. Got an ant farm right next to my computer. No, I don't. I just play Zerg. I tell you what, Moose Nova? That's not really Moose Nova. It's Mouse Biggs. The second best, arguably the second best Zerg player in Europe. And we all know that European Zergs are better than North American Zergs, so this should be a good matchup. But, look at this bottom left corner. We have Team SCB Live, yes, that's TSL, Polt, winner of the Super Tournament. He crushes Zergs with his fist. He takes Zerglings, a pack of Zerglings, and chokes them by the neck and just squeezes the life out of them. He learned from Marine King Prime, who he's good friends with, and these top Prime Terrans, they just tear apart Zergs. They don't even care. So let's see what's going to happen. What's going to happen, Shaft? What are they doing?
Well, there's no gas being taken by Polt, and that's usually a pretty big tell. I can see that there's no second barracks being built, so this has to be a 1-Rex Expo. Now, he's not sending out an SCV really early, so there's no real threat of a 1-Rex fake bunker pressure of any sort, but it doesn't matter. Even if he did, Biggs is going to be ready for it. He's got his Overlord in a great position to see anything coming as long as he's got his eyes on the mini-map. Now, different than Zergs we've been seeing earlier in this cast, he has chosen to take a really early gas compared to the gasless styles we've been seeing from all the other Zergs we've seen in this matchup.
Right, that really indicates either early Zergling pressure or early Roach pressure. But with Zerg, pressure is risky because you're really sacrificing your drone count. So, we'll see if Biggs can take this Overlord and really scout out the expansion, figure out what kind of pressure he wants to do with this early gas, or he's just playing real safe because he's scared of Polt, the Zerg killer. We'll see what happens, but Polt's laying down a CC. He's getting his bunker up super early, killing this neutral supply depot because it doesn't belong there. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely, dude. And this is some of the best TVZ I've seen ever out of Polt tonight. So I'm just really antsy to see what he gets out next. Like, he's got these 2 gas, and he's only sitting on 1 barracks. So what's the deal with that? He doesn't even have an add-on. So he might even be going for like a Banshee style, because you've seen that a lot lately. If players don't get that 3rd OC pretty quickly, they will go for Banshees in this matchup, and I'm curious to see if that's what he's got up his sleeve. Here's the factory going down now, so he will be upgrading his tech in some way. A reactor is also being built.
Well, I tell you what's happening here, Shaft. Biggs has gotten the spawning pool. He's got it for early speed, and he's probably doing that just to be safe. And he can pressure. He can flood Zerglings on Polt if he really wants to. But smartly enough, Polt knew that he only needed 2 Marines in that bunker. Instead of getting 4 Marines in a bunker, he saved a lot of minerals by just getting a few Marines and delaying the Marines a little bit just to get a few more SCVs. But, wow, instead of this Banshee play we were expecting, it looks like Polt is just going to get some early upgrades and go for some Marine pressure like we saw in the in some of his past ZBTs.
I like that decision, actually. He is really known for his ZBT, or TVZ, actually, would be the proper way. But in any case, what he's done so far has made Biggs feel completely unsafe to take an expansion. Here about 7 minutes, he's going to be laying down this third. So this Zerg is going to be a little bit behind, but he has to stay safe, and cutting corners is not going to play. It's not going to work very well against Cole. He does have a Roach Warren on the way, or actually just finishing now. 2 Evolution Chambers are on the way there, and that is going to allow him a lot of leeway against these Hellions that are moving out across the map to take control. They are going to try to deny this third, only to be surprised that it's already been laid down, so they're not going to be able to kill it.
Right. It looks... Wow, both players are playing amazingly safe. Biggs getting the early speed for safety and getting the Roach Warren, but hasn't made any Roaches or a lot of speed lanes.
5 Roaches are actually on the field now against these 4 Hellions here at the third, and that is going to chase the Hellions all the way back home, while the Roaches just chill there at the third for a little bit of extra safety. Creep is going to be out of this world as Biggs has spread 4 creep tumors out the front of his natural, as well as a creep tumor to connect his natural to his third. So these Hellions are going to have the work cut out for them if they want to try to deny any kind of creep spread. Now these Queens do have enough energy for transfuse if they so desire, so these Hellions are going to be forced to run away as those Roaches reinforce.
Right, the Roaches show up, allow the Queens to lay down more tumors instead of doing transfuses, but very interesting change in Polt's build from the past TVZs we've seen. Instead, it looks like his reaction to a later third, instead of marine pressure, is some early Hellions to keep him safe versus heavy lean pressure. And so, looks like Polt is going to move out on the map with a kind of Marine King Prime style, Marine Marauder Hellion, kind of a tankless ZBT. Very modern.
Absolutely, man. Dude, okay, we've got 1-1 upgrades now finishing for the Zerg player. He's going to be going for a more Zergling DPS style. The Roaches are going to be there to just absorb up damage. He is getting Roach speed. That's going to allow them to get into a better position and do a little bit more damage before they finally die, which is going to be really good against the Marauders. Concussive shells, if it's researched, can be a little bit of a pain in the butt for Roaches.
Oh my gosh, and Polt just showing his superior ZDT chops. I mean, the perfect way to counter this Banelingless Roach Ling style, which is really just trying to save gas so you can get out all those infestors, is to use Marine Marauder Hellion, because you don't have Banelings, you can't take out those Marines. You can take out Zerglings, you can take out Roaches. It just allows you to really remain cost-effective in the mid-game, and we see this push denying Biggs' third, and looks like he has an uphill battle for himself from now on, but Infestors are pretty good at that. We'll see what happens.
Infestors are actually really good defensively, and the fact is, though, he's only just now getting Pathogen lands. That means these Infestors are a long way off, so he's going to have to stay alive right now without taking too much damage with only Roach Ling, and that is a pretty strong composition, but his opponent has a really good composition to deal with it as well, so.
Oh yeah, this is a position I find myself in frequently as a Zerg player in games that go downhill. I end up grabbing a third base and delaying my tech a little, and I end up finding that, well, hey, I don't have that 5th and 6th gas, and so all of a sudden my build is just kind of, it just doesn't feel right, because I delayed my tech, but I don't have that 5th and 6th gas, so we'll see how Biggs transitions out of it. The market of really good players to just hang on and make the right decisions from now on. Polt is just now almost finished with this third base, so he didn't go for a quick third CC build to allow him to do that pressure, so Biggs is actually not too far behind, and he's got investors which are incredibly cost effective.
Your mic is actually getting really, really distorted. If there's anything you think you might be able to do. We do have 2-2 upgrades now coming for Biggs, and his Infestors are on the way as well. So he's going to be able to hold off this continued aggression by Polt, but Holt is going to keep these numbers small, and that means the infestors are never going to get the chance to build up all the energy that they really want in this matchup.
Right. It looks like Holt knows he has a pretty good economy relative to his Zerg player. When you're a Terran player in an equal economy with your Zerg player, you're actually a little bit ahead because Zerg really needs a better economy to trade with those cost-inefficient units. So it looks like, I'm guessing Polk will go for a lot of pressure after he gets his third base up and try and just keep those infestors constantly on low energy, do a lot of drops and take advantage of the immobility. But looks like Biggs is going to try to go straight to T3, probably Ultralisk again, and see what it can do. I mean, he doesn't have too many choices at this point.
Right. Ultralisk, man, we've seen them every ZBT now. Every ZBT.
Right. And, you know, it hasn't worked out for a lot of Zergs, but I think if done properly, the transition from Ultra into Broodlord is actually really good, because you start forcing Marauders, and then you go into Broodlords, and Marauders can't even attack it. But if you go from Broodlords into Ultras, you have Vikings flying around the map that can be really annoying by killing all your Overlords and just being a real pain in the neck.
I understand that. I really like this engagement here at the third of Biggs. Biggs looks like he may actually be able to hold this courtesy of his roaches. Holt can be able to pick up, however, and retreat his units to safety.
Right. Holt really going again with what I guess Marine King Prime and him figured out, which is that medevacs are really good versus infestors. You keep retaining that medevac count because they have to waste so much energy just to kill all those medevacs, especially if you split up the medevacs, and you can even pick up units and run away just like you did, just to be even more cost effective.
Gotcha, buddy. Adrenal glands are on the way. That's going to make these lanes so much more effective. Now, this is a lot more important than getting a +3 attack, in my opinion, as the 20% increase is quite a bit more than +3 damage.
Oh yeah, the adrenal glands is just a very important, almost underrated upgrade. And wow, Biggs caught out of position, losing his fourth base to this 4 medevac drop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we've got Roachling and Fester here to deal with a small portion of Holt's army. Oh, it is going to manage to clean it up, but again, these medevacs have been completely left unmolested. He could possibly use up the rest of his energy on these infestors to kill off the medevacs, but oh, he is dropping a couple infestors here. He might try to... Oh, okay, he is going to get off 2 medevacs. Pretty awesome stuff. Now Holt doing a really good job keeping these other medevacs split and getting them right on home to safety.
Right, and Holt is following up with just constant pressure. It seems like he likes to play very aggressive early game, get a decent lead, and then just keep trading with his superiorly cost-effective army.
Well, I think it has to do with infestors, because the fact of the matter is each of these infestors only has about 1 fungal growth. If they get enough for 2 each, this game changes drastically. But at the moment,
oh yeah,
the infantry can just free reign whatever they want to on the infestors because each of them only has 1 fungal growth.
Oh wow, Ultra's out, starting to plow through this Terran army, but
Ultras are
Gibbs is only barely ahead of supply.
This is going to be rough. Ultras are actually only attacking 1 at a time, not being controlled to the best of their ability, but they will manage to clean up the army of Holt. Still, nothing to deal with these medevacs, and 2 more are being produced at a time. We do have a lean counterattack being sent to Holt's third, but it's going to run right into a wall, and here's Marine with a lot more Marines here to reinforce it. That should be the death of most of those lings. 5 of them are going to get away. But this allows Biggs to start moving out across the map he's going to try and hit from an alternate angle with the majority of his forces.
Right. That little things like the supply deeper wall at the third really make a huge difference, preventing counterattacks. Terrans are a race that you really have to get at zoning all the areas out. I mean, wow, it looks like Biggs is getting kind of desperate. He's going for burrowed infestors into, it looks like, the main.
All right, that looks like it would work, as well as the only missile turret is in the very far back of the main. In fact, he's choosing to do it right here at the natural. I'm intrigued, but unfortunately it's going to be right as Marines and Marauders are rallied out. Only these Marines and Marauders are... Oh, here we go. They are pulled away at the last second. It is going to manage to kill that bunker, but it's going to cost him all of his investors, and that is not a cost-efficient trade. He's going to try to kill off with some engineering bay, but it's never going to die with SCVs here to repair it.
Yeah, I really think that, I mean, that turned out to just be a waste of energy for Biggs. He was probably hoping that Holt's army was too far away to deal with it, but
right.
It just didn't work out.
This is true.
Oh,
now
wow.
There is this big attack here at the, 4th of Holt. He is going to lose that planetary fortress to a really big clump of Ultralisks. The Ultralisks are going to engage now. They're taking a lot of damage from these tanks. Ultralisks are exploding on the map, but so are tanks. The Ultralisks are left with some medevacs above them. Unfortunately, that is going to allow most SCVs to get away to safety.
Right.
Big attack here in the
like...
natural of Biggs.
Wow.
Holt is killing off the Ultralisk Cavern. That's going to be the end of his high tech. He's going to be stuck on infestors. There's also attack in the main, so there's no more hive. The third has also been cleaned up by a drop. Biggs has gone all in. He's 30 supply against his opponent's 160. This is game over. Biggs dropping the GG and leaving the game.
Oh, wow. Just Biggs had too many bases denied. He was too out of position. I would have liked to see more Overlord spread from him, maybe Overlord speed, so he can maintain that Overlord spread, but he was just really torn apart by drops, which is one of the liabilities with the Infestor Ling Ultra style.
No anti-air. We've said it time and time again. Now, guys, look, if you're going to go for Ultralisks, make some Corruptors. Think about it. In every game we've seen, a small group of Corruptors, 6 of them, would have made all the difference.
Right. It's definitely true. That's the thing that Terrans are exploiting is the lack of anti-air out of that style. We've seen players like Dong Regu go Ling Bling Muta straight into Ultras, Ling Infestor, and make that transition. It's very difficult to make, but it can be done. But, well, it looks like the Stefano-style metagame has been figured out.
Absolutely.
TBZ by players like Holt and Marine King Prime.
Well, see, Stefano has even changed over to Broodlords. That's the thing. In tournaments, he's even, like in interviews after tournaments where he's lost, he's even said, I went Ultralisks and I should have gone Broodlords. And so even he says, like, his style still works, you just have to go for a different unit. But the thing about it is his style still works. Like, you can still do exactly what Biggs just did right there, but you need to mix in that small group of Corruptors, and you need to get them early on so that once you have Infestors, you should go ahead and lay down the Spire at the same time you start the Infestation Pit. That will allow you to slowly pump up a couple of Corruptors into your Infestor kind of composition, and with that you'll be able to fungal a medevac and then target down with the Corruptors with a little bit of corruption. That's going to do some extra DPS from the fungal and from your Corruptor's actual attack. So it really works out to your advantage, and then your opponent can never really be sure, are you going Broodlords or are you going Ultralisks? And you're actually available to get either one, depending on your preference, but you will always have the ability to make Corruptors to deal with any kind of anti-air, because we've seen 3 separate situations where Terran are exploiting this lack of anti-air in this style. You see them picking up their orbital commands and just whenever lings come by, boom, just pick it up, no problem. They're picking up factories, barracks, all of that, just ignoring the units completely. We see medevac drops going around everywhere, and they're completely uncontested because anti-air can't get into position until the drop's already down. And then the fact is, the medevacs in these big aggressive pushes that are denying the infestors that oh so vital energy that they need when the ultralisks come out, that is, the medevacs are just constantly being resupplied, and there's this huge medevac count out by the time ultralisks do arrive, and that's allowing small groups of Marines to clear out most of the Zerg army due to that medevac support and ultimately lose the game.
Right, great analysis, Shaft. I completely agree. It's I think if there's gains to be made in the ZVT metagame, it's by going infestorless and maybe going. One thing I've been experimenting with is Speedling, Baneling, Roach, just straight into Broodlord, because you can get those Broodlords so much faster because you're not spending all that gas on the infestors. And
what do you do against Vikings?
Against Vikings, I mean, you try to basically hit before they make that Viking transition, because a lot of Terrans are caught off guard by Broodlords that early. But generally, what you do is instead of spending a bunch of gas on infestors, you just try to get corruptors. You know,
Okay.
you don't skew you don't skew all your corruptors into Broodlords necessarily. You try to maintain a decent corruptor count. So. Because, I mean, actually, if you have a large enough number of Broodlords, they can kind of stand on their own without support once they kind of hit a critical mass.
Right. Okay, that'll work for me, man.
Just some ideas for you Zerg players out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, guys, well, we are about to launch into our final game. Thank you for staying with us so far through this entire cast, those of you that have. And those of you watching the VODs, make sure you check out the entire playlist. Every single game we've watched tonight has been worth watching. And I think this last game will be no different, guys. I will see you in 60 seconds on the other side of this broadcast. Thank you very much.